Welcome to this episode of Scale is Needed, folks. I am Armen Hammer, and these are the Bogart brothers. Clifford, hello.
Hi, how's it going?
Kyle, hello.
Woo!
Daniel.
Hey.
Anyway, so we're recording this episode. We're gonna double up this week. We're gonna release 2 episodes this week. I don't know if you guys realize that based off of the schedule, but
News to me, but
we are recording 2 episodes this week. Episode 1 of this week is this one, in which we are going to kind of catch up on all the normal stuff that we usually talk about, plus our open predictions. And then episode 2 this week, we're going to record on Friday morning-ish, and we're going to talk about our reactions to the open.
yeah.
Because there's only maybe one other person in the office who gives a shit about CrossFit, and he's too expensive to book onto a podcast. So we have to do that for us, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. It's good because there's always that first moment. People who haven't been in the CrossFit space as long as we have, and with the relationship to CrossFit that we have, are excited about the open.
Yes, they have enthusiasm for it.
Right, and so what we can do,
Like Max
is
Greenfield of New Girl.
feed off of that excitement. Right, what a poor guy. Just feed off of that excitement and turn it into comedy. So before
And it
we
will
do
be
that,
at least as entertaining as this right now.
right, at least as anything. So before we do that, we were just talking about Ezra Miller.
Yes, we were.
And I brought him up because we were talking about Amy Schumer's movie Trainwreck, and how the funniest parts of that movie were like everything but Amy Schumer, including like LeBron killed it. He was great.
Really funny.
He was amazing.
John Cena was really funny in that movie.
You see all of them except for the shaft of his penis.
Yes,
That's
it's a bummer. And then the Ezra Miller plays like the underage kid that she, spoiler alert, tries to sleep with at the end of the movie. Whatever.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, I forgot that part entirely.
Right, because it really wasn't that funny. I mean, he was like kind of playing this really weird, fucked up like New York kid. But anyway, Kyle mentioned that Ezra Miller is now the Flash in the DC movie universe,
He sure
and
is.
my mind sort of melted for a second because I've seen pictures.
His tiny nipples.
I've seen pictures of him as the Flash. I've seen that little teaser thingy they did where Bruce Wayne goes and talks to him. Yeah, I've seen all of that, and I never put 2 and 2 together that was actually the case. Yeah, and it makes me hate the DC movie universe so much more.
Well, what I'm wondering, no doubt this is highly speculated upon by lots of people or wished for. Apparently, the TV show The Flash is much beloved. People actually enjoy watching it, and it works. People enjoy watching and like a lot of the DC TV properties. Could we just retire the DC movie universe and just make movies out of the TV shows there? I mean, why both things? One clearly not working, one working decently well, even though I haven't watched any of it.
I can't really watch much of that TV stuff because I feel like the TV, like it's the DC stuff, from what I gather, seems to be good by CW standards, and because I attempted to watch some of the Flash television show, and it just wasn't.
You know what is really good by CW standards? Caught an episode. Riverdale.
Yep.
Which is the Archie live action TV show.
Oh, yeah.
But amazingly, it is done in the style of Twin Peaks.
Okay.
So imagine Archie, the comic, as live action, done with that kind of nostalgic,
is it
but somewhat
officially
haunting.
Archie, like Archie, Betty, Veronica?
Yeah, Archie, Betty, Veronica. We're introduced to all of them in the pilot. And further, I didn't know what it was as it was starting to play. Daniel was starting to play it. And I thought, this is such a Twin Peaks vibe going on here. But when you think about it, if you had proposed to me, and had I proposed to you and not given you the answer, what is an interesting...
You've made all my dreams come true.
What is an interesting cinematic take that's actually interesting on doing a live-action Archie thing? If you'd brainstormed it for about 10 minutes, eventually you'd come to Twin Peaks.
Yes.
That's my prediction.
Interesting. I will have to. I don't know anything about this. We'll have to.
It's very much a CW show. Like it.
Like everyone, all the women dress like they're going to go to Coachella.
Yeah. Everyone is James Vanderbeek.
Well, no, actually, what is it? Luke Perry is in the.
Luke Perry is playing
Archie's dad.
Archie's dad. Yeah.
Okay.
This is roughly Archie's dad.
All of the teenagers are roughly 25.
Yes.
And also the sexy teachers are also roughly 25, so they all look around the
It's
same
a shared
age.
universe with 90210, where all the teenagers were also 25.
Yeah.
It's just continuing.
You know, I don't know anything about Archie or Twin Peaks, so I feel like I can't really contribute to this conversation in any meaningful way. So I'm just going to agree and be like, huh, yeah, in the vein of Twin Peaks, yes.
Well,
of
maybe
course.
we should watch Riverdale and report on it on a weekly basis
Definitely.
until we lose interest.
Definitely not.
Actually, my pitch actually for the next Scale Is Needed show would be the other comic book adaptation going on right now, which is Legion.
I've heard Legion's pretty decent.
Which the pilot is amazing. The second episode good, but it's 8 episodes, 9 episodes, something like that.
Okay.
Speaking of the X-Men universe, apparently the initial reviews coming in for Logan are also very good.
I've heard that. Yeah, that's
so it's not just a trailer.
Apparently, it's also a film. There's a film attached to that trailer.
Yeah, I'm skeptical.
I've heard legends of films, especially ones about this Wolverine character. But
well, and part of the reason I say that is because I remember a lot of people telling me that Wolverine 2 was really good. You know, Wolverine 1 sucked, but you got to see Wolverine 2. It's great. And I watched Wolverine 2, and it was not good.
Nope.
Not good at all. So, yeah. Anyway, CrossFit Open.
No. Well, you know, let's not get off of this too quickly here. But you know,
we can circle back around to it.
We can come back to it because there's a lot to talk about when it comes to X-Men and the quality of film that they've been putting out over the past 20 years. But I think
poor is the answer.
Right. Generally, on average, poor.
Yeah.
Poor. Although there have been, I believe there have been.
The Scale Is Needed X-Men rewatch project begins next week. We begin with X-Men from 2003.
Oh God, when Skinny Logan, I don't understand how they Benjamin Buttoned Logan in this universe. It's incredible. Even as like old man Logan in this new movie, he looks 1,000 times more jacked. It's like
Super shredded.
You know what Apocalypses can't stop Logan from doing?
Working out.
Hitting the gym.
You know, it's something this reminded me of. That reminded me of something that someone pointed out that seems like the most obvious thing in the world that I can't believe I never noticed before. But was just they were pointing out the fact that in any show, I think they had used Walking Dead as an example, but any show, post-apocalyptic, zombie wasteland, desert island, doesn't fucking matter what the circumstances are. We all watch and accept the fact that Mad Max Fury Road, doesn't matter. We all watch and accept the fact that all women have perfectly shaved armpits all the time. Doesn't matter if you're trapped on a desert island. Doesn't matter if you're running from zombies. That all women in all movies have perfectly shaved. It's one of those things like... it's just one of those things that is just such a condition of the age that we live in that we look back and we snicker at like a TV show for like something from the 1930s. Look, they all wear suits and day to day. Like how preposterous this is.
Here's the one.
And we just don't even notice that that something as absurd as women don't grow armpit hair apparently.
Sure. But in Mad Max Fury Road's defense, I think the wives probably were well groomed.
Yes,
there.
but what about Furiosa? She can't even reach that one because she only got the one arm.
That's true. I didn't notice her armpits. Yeah.
She's only got the one arm, but still somehow manages to shave that opposite pit.
She has an attachment.
Yeah, it's a complex maneuver.
It's a system of pulleys.
Yes. What she does is she gets a running start.
So that's an interesting observation there.
Official Scale Is Needed position. We need more women with armpit hair.
I don't think that's
How do you
it,
think
actually.
she lost that arm in the first place?
Testing out the complex system of pulleys. So Kyle, speaking of fitness, someone at this table deadlifted 500 pounds recently.
I did. I posted it on Instagram. I pulled the 500 for the first time post knee injury, post quadricep rupture, and it felt good. Felt really good. It came up pretty easy. So my immediate reaction was to be mad at myself for not putting more weight on the bar right after.
Of course, right, because you can't do anything without hating yourself for having done it.
So pulled it, and then immediately thought probably could have pulled 510. Probably could have done that.
Now I wonder, because as a filmmaker, you should probably
be able to deadlift. You're right.
Be filming things. Why do you never ever have video of you doing these exercise
I have
feats?
maybe twice in my entire life filmed myself doing any kind of exercise. I think one time on the 1-year anniversary of my leg injury, I cleaned 225, like did a 225 like power clean and jerk, and I set up a camera and filmed it. And I think that's might be the only video record that I've ever exercised before in my life is that. So I'm just not in the habit of doing it.
I mean, you could very easily have just asked anyone in the gym to be like, hey, bro, could you just film this real quick? And they'd be like, what are you going to do, roll that bar? I've never seen that much weight on a bar before. And you're like, yeah, something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
And then we would have video evidence of your deadlift.
This is true, but if I had failed, then I would have felt silly. Can you please film this? Can you film this for a second? All right, let me walk over to all right, never mind. I'll just give me my phone back, please.
No, I was doing a partial rep. I was doing an off the ground isometric.
No, that was exactly what I intended to do.
That's what I was planning on doing.
Static holds. They're super important.
Don't tell anyone about this.
The bar stays on the ground the whole time. You just pull really hard on it.
It's a dynamic day. It was just really fast. I was just really fast start.
It's called it's I did rack pulls before. These are ground pulls, so you really have to only go up to the bottom of your shoes.
Right. I was practicing the part of the deadlift where you take the slack out of the bar very aggressively.
It's like just wanted to test to make sure that bar was solid. Yep, pretty solid. Didn't bend at all. All right.
No, I'm here with quality control. I'm here to make sure the bars don't have any limits that might affect people's performance in here. I obviously can't pick this up, but someone who can might want to use this barbell.
I was testing to make sure that the gravitational pull of the Earth was not, in fact, a conspiracy propagated by the patriarchy, and in fact, it turned out to be correct.
And seem
real.
It's funny you should mention gravitational pull, by the way, because one of my favorite moments as a coach, a client of ours was doing trying to do pull-ups or something. And we, at our old gym, had like a tiered system of pull-up bars, right? We had like lower, because we had made it ourselves. It was made of like plumbing pipe and what's called speed rail attachments, which are just joints. So it's like plumbing pipe. So we had thin and very low for women and children or whatever. We had like a medium one that was like most of the gym. It was like a little bit thicker and it ran most of the gym. And then we had a higher version, for people who were like really tall to use on one end. And we had a member at the gym. And the difference, by the way, was like maybe 10 inches between the shortest and the middle and another 10 inches or so between the middle. And so at most it was like, 9 feet off the ground or so. And so we had a member who was doing, coming into class, and the workout had pull-ups and all the sort of like average male part of the bar was taken. So I was like, all right, well, you're too tall to use the women's side and there are women there. So you're going to have to use the tall one. Just grab a box and you'll step up to the bar. And he's like, no, man, I don't know. It's going to be harder to do pull-ups on the taller bar because gravity is pulling harder up there.
And what? Now what?
That's actually the opposite of the truth.
And that's I was like, man, actually, I'm pretty sure the closer you get to the source of gravity, the stronger it is. Its effect is on you. And he was like, no, dude, I don't think so. And I was like, dude. I do think so.
I'm just trying to think what mental model of physics does this guy have that we can think that. Now, it's not a matter of distance from the surface, from the center of the Earth. It's a matter of distance from the ground, and so he must have his mental model of physics must be such that the further away you get from the ground, that everything is just pulling a little bit harder.
Right, of course.
To just yank you down a little bit like a rubber band.
Right.
So the gravity is a rubber band attached on the ground. So the further you get from the ground, the harder the pull, and it'll slap you back down.
Exactly. It's exactly like this. And so I imagine somewhere in his brain that like the 8.5-inch difference between where he normally does pull-ups and the tall bar was significant enough of a distance to make pull-up more difficult.
He reminds me of the guy from the comments last time who was like, who had the different collars, so he added like RX Plus. He's like, I don't want that slight disadvantage dragging me down. I want to make sure it's a level playing field.
Yeah.
Should have added. You could have added just RX Plus because
that's a good point. He's slightly above the ground. Now there are some situations in which the distance makes a difference. There's no situation in which the farther
like
away from
pull-ups.
the center. Yeah, like burpee pull-ups. If you're jumping higher, it's gonna be harder. Or if you're doing muscle-ups and the webbing is really long, it makes it more difficult to control because that's just a longer lever. Neither of those things is this situation. This situation is just a fundamental misunderstanding of gravity Well, gravity is a theory. Let's be honest here.
Yeah,
it's still a theory.
I'm
so.
wondering, has he ever walked down the aisle of an airplane before?
Just crawling. I weigh 10,000 pounds.
It's like, in this guy's world, he's sitting in an airplane, and then suddenly he just gets ripped through the floor and hurled down towards the earth.
Right to the earth.
Or perhaps if he
But as he gets closer, he's like, whoa, all right, here we go.
Does he think if you dig a tunnel a few hundred feet beneath the ground and are walking down there, it's like walking on the moon, just bouncing along there?
Listen, I don't think there was a coherent physics, like a system of physics that he was sticking to.
He has an implicit model of physics in his head.
No, I think he just had
a
straight misunderstanding and never ever considered what that actually meant. I think he just like flipped it around in his brain at some point and just never even was like, well, I guess this is just the way it is. I mean, I'm not gonna put this through too much thought. I'm too busy to do I'm doing other things.
Mm-hmm. He just at some point had.
Therefore, I must live my life by this rule. Stay closer to the ground, sir.
At some point, he had just got the notion that gravity is an attractive force to the surface of the earth,
right?
As in the film on the surface of the earth,
right?
Is where the source
Which
of
is
gravity.
why climbing mountains is so difficult.
Yes. Well, as you get closer to the top, the air gets thinner, plus you go from weighing like $180 to like
700
pounds.
Yeah.
Which makes summiting so challenging.
Yeah, so physics, right? I mean, gravity is such a powerful...
You know, the thing about physics is... I got nothing.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was like, please keep this going. So hopefully, I think that conversation with me sort of... And, like, that puts me in like a weird position. Like all of us have been in a position where we know the right answer and someone says something really fucking wrong and you're like, you know what? I have two options here. Ruin this relationship by being honest or play it as if I'm kind of sure I'm right.
Always option A.
When I get into those type of situations, my only consideration is what is the quickest way for me to get out of this conversation. So that's the only thing. It's like, oh yeah, right on, and then walk away. Turn around, walk away.
Right on.
I should have just agreed. Oh shit, you're right. You got me. RX Plus.
See, you're already committing too much to that. There, it's like it's a little bit. Oh yeah, and then walk, and then turn around.
Yeah, no, that's true. I mean, there are certain situations in that would happen. Because as like you work in a CrossFit gym and you get people who don't understand fitness in general and don't know CrossFit at all, so they kind of have these like preconceived notions based off of what they read places or what their friends tell them, and so people would come in and be like, oh man, this is dangerous. I gotta be careful. Like I'm gonna hurt my back. I'm gonna break my back doing squats because the bar is on my back. And it's like, yeah,
sure.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know what if you.
Well, I know that is literally accurate in my case, as close as you can get there.
Well,
when I squat high bar without a belt on, I've done that twice,
and both times you've severed a spine.
Pretty close.
Yeah. Well, that was what was. And I know we've touched on this before. That was what felt like such a betrayal about my quadricep detaching from my patella, because for years people would like in especially East Side Elite where no one was lifting even like any substantial weight, and I was the guy always putting 300+ pounds on the bar and squatting, and so people would say, oh man, that's blah, yeah, I don't know about that, it seems kind of dangerous. And I'm like, and I was the guy who's like, listen, so long as you maintain good form, squatting is not dangerous.
Nothing wrong can happen.
Keep your knees on the outside, keep your back right, and all of this, and everything will be fine. And then I realized I changed their concept of what weightlifting is forever. Everyone who witnessed, like all 30 people in that class, will never, for the rest of their lives, no one will be able to convince them that it's safe. Ever, because of my weird anomalous injury that no one has ever heard or experienced before except for me. So
and that's a weird thing about human beings, right? Because the outlier should not be the thing which defines like everything that happens in the middle.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, is that you can find an anecdote. That's why anecdotal evidence is invalid. You can always find one or two examples to confirm anything. You can say, as a principle, like, you shouldn't buckle your seatbelt in the front seat because it's more dangerous than buckling your seatbelt, because that's probably
because
find
there's this one case in which someone died because their seatbelt was buckled,
and the fact that guy died because his seatbelt was buckled, is totally a thing that happened. But that doesn't make the principle of don't wear your seatbelt in the front seat valid at all. But
it's like my grandma is in her 90s. She still smokes every single day. Cigarettes must be good for you. Cigarettes equals longevity,
and that's the thing, is that most people just settle on whatever couple anecdotal examples examples work for them, and then they move on.
And to bring this back full circle to Cliff's sort of
thought thing.
Process,
that's how things work. There is that you're looking for confirmation bias in reality based on whatever you want to be true, and whatever you want to be true is just based on a feeling.
Whatever feels right.
Yeah. It's whatever, and that feeling could come from, who knows, osmosis from the people around you, or just I don't know, a random chemical firing in the brain the wrong way, something like that.
Probably both those things.
And not to make things weirdly political, but that's how things work on both sides of the political divide.
100%.
And because it doesn't matter if you watch MSNBC, you'll get someone who shows you like, well, this lady lost all of her insurance when Donald Trump blah 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 blah. You watch Fox News, they say this business was shut down thanks to the Affordable Care Act and not being able to blah 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 blah. And both people will each look at those individual examples and base all of their judgments as that's confirmation of their of whatever preconceived notion they have, and do literally nothing else but believe they're 100% correct.
And by the way, you're letting yourself off the hook too much though, because it's not just anecdotal examples. This pertains to scientific questions as well, such as diet. You can read compelling scientific studies.
Bring it home.
You can read compelling scientific studies on every side of the diet argument. Pro low fat, pro low carb, pro somewhere in the middle, and every possible position on 5 different opposite positions there. You can read what seems like, to a layperson who's not trained in science, me, all of you, it seems plausible enough when you read it there. So basically, whatever you have a feeling about, in reality, if you just feel that meat is icky, that, killing animals is mean, then you'll automatically want to believe anything that says vegetarian.
Gorillas are vegetarian and they have all that muscle, so you can't tell me that you can't exercise and be vegan.
Exactly.
I mean, look at gorillas.
Right. There's one vegan strongman. There's one vegan strongman.
One guy.
He's really fucking strong.
Yeah.
And therefore we should all be vegan, because being vegan equals being strong.
I know. My girlfriend brought that guy up to me because she saw him, I'm sure, in some meme or something. She's like, this guy's weightlifting. He's vegan. And I was like, oh. I'm sure that works for him.
Yeah.
I'm hungry though.
There's there's a lot of that. I think what people misunderstand is God, what was that quote? It's if you ask everyone will tell you they're not the average, right? And what people are sort of losing sight of there is that bell curves work for a reason, right? There's a lot of people in the middle of that fucking bell curve. 99.3% of us are in the middle of that bell curve. Like the commonalities that we have are much greater than. So when you look at someone talking about, the politics thing is where that idea of like, it very much becomes this one side versus the other side thing, when you sort of ignore the fact that, 99% of your lifestyle overlaps in like a gray area.
Interpreting and also getting accurate interpretations of large amounts of data. If you've ever taken a statistics class or read into statistics, getting any accurate assessment, it's possible. It is very, very, very hard to distill one piece of information that has like that is mathematically significant. This mathematically significant indicator of a trend within even a small population. But the larger that population becomes, then the more wide-ranging and comprehensive and the more variables that can corrupt the thing all enter into it. So when you realize how fucking hard it is to get any information, even if you're just trying to figure out, like, do most Oklahomans support Prop whatever, it becomes incredible. not to say anything about science and how rigorous that has to be. Once you realize how difficult it is, you then realize that if you have any innate bias or assumptions or anything as you conduct the study, it can throw those numbers or these studies that really prove that my point is correct wildly in favor of whatever position you choose.
You can basically create, like out of thin air, you can just pull any piece of data or information that supports almost any argument that you want to make. And that exists so much in the fitness world. And CrossFitters, by the way, think that they're immune to this, when I would actually argue that CrossFitters are just as susceptible, if not more susceptible to this than like the average gym goer, because the average gym goer is like I am ignorant. Therefore, I will listen. I will like search out information from these sources that seem like they know what they're talking about.
By the way, I figured out a major source of my bias there, something that has that affects my bias on a wide variety of realms there. But I've just noticed this again and again in my life. Is I am always biased towards anything that says that the majority of people are bullshit. Yeah. So I was super into CrossFit. I was like devoted religiously to CrossFit when no one did CrossFit, but the articles that Red Glassman said, they said everything you're doing in the gym, everyone's doing in the gym, it's bullshit. Yeah. So that's that. But as CrossFit has become more popular, everyone knows about it, everyone's doing it, my allegiance to CrossFit has kind of wavered, and now I'm sort of shifting back into the bodybuilding realm, because bodybuilding is super not cool anymore. Yeah.
It's like and I suffer from the same thing, which is the romantic attachment to the notion of the smartest kid in the room who knows the real answers while all of the masses are doing something stupid. So if some guy can fulfill or can pantomime that role, regardless of whether or not he has any justification behind it, I'm like, that's the guy. He fucking knows. He fucking knows all the secrets.
That is the source of a feeling, and that feeling results in confirmation bias and seeking out only the information which confirms that.
And we're back to where we started.
Exactly.
Yeah, it happens a lot in CrossFit, within the CrossFit world, of like, oh, well, Rich Froning trains all the time. I should do exactly what Rich Froning does. And you know, there's that idea that on top of that, there's that idea that, you know, CrossFit itself is like this like pure, you know, expression of humanity and its practicality and preparation and fitness at its core, and there's no way to sully that. There's no way for that to become you know, at all sort of like deranged from its pure godly promise of fitness. And then we lose sight of the fact that it's fucking people.
Like it's just people.
It's just people. It's just people exercising.
Yes.
You know, like. So anyway, whatever.
I'm still susceptible to this day, because I remember it happened on this podcast where you were like, Kyle, don't you know that like all these people who are taking all these fish oil capsules, you know, it's actually really bad for you and it's low grade fish oil. What you need to do is take a different fish oil. And I was just like, I believe him. He's telling me that everyone's wrong and that he has the answers. I'm on board immediately.
Yeah.
It just all goes back to like high school and stuff, when it was usually the case where it was me alone arguing against everyone in the class and the teacher, having a contrary opinion and just thinking they were all bullshit. And it's pretty much to this day how
that's actually very interesting, because that relates back to a concept that's addressed in that Robert Cialdini book, Influence, where this is that how much we trust people who are like us, and that seems like an obvious concept, but anyone who seems similar to us. So in Cliff references, you know, being the smart kid in the room arguing against everyone else. So anyone who seems like that, believing. But this goes all the way down to they've tested this with they did some sort of test with salespeople who improved their, and this is a sales technique where they improved their ability to close deals. I think it was on car sales, merely by mimicking the body language of the person they were trying to sell to. So if the person was sitting at attention, they would sit at attention. If they were relaxed, whatever. And by mimicking the body language, they were more inclined to sell a car to that person. And I've noticed, you know, there's myriad examples of that in other things, but you know, if only because I notice in my own life, like if someone, like I wear like hipster glasses and have a beard and hang out in coffee shops. So if there's someone else who has like hipster glasses and a beard, and I will trust and feel like I can relate to this person more than, let's say, a guy in a crew cut and a polo shirt or something like that. But we dial into anything that seems similar to us, and we trust that thing and want, even if we're convinced ourselves we're being objective about things.
Well, it's a persuasion technique called pacing and leading. You know, you see someone walking down the street. Well, first you need to pace them, walk at the same pace as them, and then you can lead them. Well, it applies to this. If you're trying to persuade someone, you adopt all of their characteristics, physical mannerisms, and even physical look if you're trying to persuade them there. So you can feel like you're on the same page, just in things that have nothing to do with what you're trying to persuade them in, and then they're much more persuadable.
We learned some stuff today.
Sure did.
I don't know. I have not read the book that you're referencing. Although all of those things sound true to me, and therefore I will believe them.
Yep.
I will make up experiences that I have had.
And my bias to believing the things in that book is I like the idea of being able to manipulate people. So when I read a book that has all sorts of tools and tricks for manipulating people, it's like, right on, man. That's got to be right.
We also are, now that it's the first week of the Open, we're getting close to the first week of the Open. It's also the last week was the last week of our original New Year's. That was week 7. Last week was week 7.
Fuck yeah.
And so this week, you can go get blitzed, Kyle, if you really wanted to.
Nah, I'm all right.
And Cliff, you can change programs, which I'm sure you already have.
Not at all. No.
So,
but no, here's how not changed programs I have been there. I have already bought the next template for the next cycle.
We've broken through finally. He just maintained something for 7 weeks. And
exactly. That's what I think it requires more than a month of doing a thing before it becomes fully routine. No, the next thing is I'm currently on the 3-day-a-week full body.
Oh.
That's what I'm male physique template. So I've gotten for the next phase. And by the way, this is through this cut, which is horrible right now. My goal is to get down 30 pounds by the beginning of South by. So I have 3 more weeks to get down 30 pounds. And I'm about 12 pounds over that. So I need to lose 4 pounds each of these next weeks, which means I've been doing cardio for the first time. And this whole time there, I walked 6 miles and then did cardio in the gym and doing that, whatever I need to get down the 30 pounds. Anyway, but for this next phase where I will, thank Christ, where I will maintain, the goal is to maintain weight for this next cycle, is the 4-day-a-week chest and back focused male physique template.
Are you going straight up leg day skipper?
No, leg days are present there. It's just a bias. It's just a bias.
Cliff the skipper? Skipping leg days left and right?
Yeah, because I think Cliff could afford to skip leg days for about 12 years and still have way bigger legs and more strength than anyone else.
Leg day is the source of all my pain. If I only do upper body stuff, no pain. So now it's not solely focused on chest and back, but it's biased.
It's just biased.
By the way, have you made that a Rosti appointment yet?
No, not yet.
Yeah, why would you do that?
I mean, it's only covered by our health care.
Yeah,
not a big deal, and it's very easy to do,
and can definitely help with all of those injuries.
No, fuck that. That's not necessary.
It's one of those things where the injuries feel so numerous and so non-specific. I don't even know what to communicate. So it's like, where do I start?
You walk in and you go, owie.
Start with 1. That's what I'm doing.
Okay, so you're continuing on with the situation.
I'm continuing on,
like with the next evolution.
With the next
Are you going to finish this cycle? Because I remember the cycle was like 12 weeks.
Yeah, this cycle, the 13 weeks, and I will certainly finish it there. So, but this is just the cutting phase, and goddamn, I'm looking, and I'm thinking, hoping that this is a better way to go about it, as opposed to always be perpetually trying to lose weight, but most of the time regressing. Just focus on losing weight for a delimited period of time, and then just try to maintain.
So you're going with the Kyle strategy, which is instead of thinking about, hey, what was that? I'm going to not drink because I want to lose weight. You're going to focus on I'm just going to not drink.
Just going to not drink.
And so you're going to do I'm not going to work out to lose weight or eat to lose weight. I'm just going to work out and eat.
I will still be following roughly an RP template, but I'll be adding
a lot
more fat. I will be adding a lot. I actually calculated what my calorie deficit had to have been to have lost the weight at the rate I've gone. I can add 1,500 more calories per day, and in order to maintain.
Well, how much weight did you lose?
I'm down only 18 pounds.
18 pounds.
That's actually really good. That's like almost 3 pounds a week, 2.5 pounds a week.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing: is
that's about as healthy as you should be doing.
I know. But here's the problem, though: is there was the 1 week where Sunday was the Super Bowl party at Armen's, where I had lots of chips and cookies. Then the next weekend, my parents came into town, where I tried to eat good initially, but then they ordered pizza, and then it was chips and all that stuff. So that whole week was a lost week. I lost no weight over the course of that week. So I now need to do double time on the last 3 weeks. So I need to lose 4 pounds per week.
Just don't go into your carb cycling plans from previous.
No.
That did not work, and I do not suggest it.
Still sticking with the standard RP 3.5, whatever. But doing more cardio.
Interesting.
I'm just doing cardio, and I feel lightheaded right now. So hopefully that'll wear off.
That's good. That means
later.
It's working.
That means your brain is losing fat
or
too.
you're having a stroke,
which is good. I mean, what did I say? What did you say?
Yeah,
same.
Same.
And Kyle, you're not blitzed right now, so
No. Well, you know, I'm on mescaline, but that doesn't. nothing in the bet prohibits that. No. It's I haven't had any booze this year, and I don't plan on starting anytime soon.
Very good.
Yeah.
I'm happy for you.
Thanks,
That's
man.
a very healthy and boring lifestyle that you've chosen, and now you can welcome yourself into my world.
I'm hoping that I can lead one of those boring lives that actually moves forward instead of a fun one that just stays in the same place.
Yeah,
Kyle, you were not staying in the same place. You were regressing.
That's true. That is true.
Cliff brings up a good point here. Now, do you find yourself surrounded by people who still party?
You know, I haven't been going out as much, but actually what recently tested me was I just got back from Minneapolis. I was there doing a Flow shoot, and
Minneapolis makes me want to drink too.
Yeah, no, it was it's a cool place, but yeah, it was one of those things where, you know, after a day of traveling and shooting and doing all of that, then going out, and I was with Chad and Mark Bader from our wrestling site, and then sitting down at a restaurant, and nothing would have felt better than having a beer. And so Mark ordered a beer, and then they brought out 2 beers, and they were like, "It's happy hour, so when you order a beer, you get 2 beers."
Oh shit!
And Mark's like, "Geez, I'm not sure I can drink both of these beers," and Chad doesn't drink, so I was just staring at it, and honestly, I wasn't all that tempted, but I was like, "Oh, come on, really? Come on, this is ridiculous." But yeah, and so yeah, no, it was good.
Well, I have a confession to make.
Oh,
what's that?
you fucked up.
I fucked up.
Oh, did you?
I did not finish our bet.
Oh, really?
So I got all the way down to 21, 18, 15, 12, 9, and 6. All I needed to do was the last set. I needed to do the entire workout last week. At some point, I needed to do the entire workout last week.
Did you?
And I did not.
Why not, man?
Various things. My mom came in town last weekend. We ran the half marathon, the Austin half marathon on Sunday. So yesterday we ran, and usually I would have done it on either Thursday or Friday. And I just found myself like Thursday, I didn't get into the gym at all. I had to like get ready for the weekend. Friday, you know, it was like my mom came in town, and from that point on, I just did not find myself in the gym. And so, like, you know, my workout time on Friday was gone, my workout time on Saturday was gone, and on Sunday we ran the half. And it was like, okay, it's a wash. Like, I'll take it. I'll figure it out. I don't even remember what the deal was. Like, I don't know what I'm supposed to, what I owe you guys.
$10 piece.
It was a $10 a piece. All right, that's easy. That's
Something
not
like
bad.
That's fine.
That's not bad. So, yo,
wait, no, $50 a piece. Right.
I don't.
It is.
It actually is, but that's, you know, whatever. We'll work
Either way, we'll find a deal.
Where's my money?
Bitch better have my money. Anyway, you guys
What's that?
don't know
I don't
what song
know what
that is. That's fine.
No.
Pay me what you owe me.
There we go. Daniel knows what's up.
Yeah, doesn't surprise me.
So yeah, so I fucked up. I did not actually do the entire workout. 14.5, 16.5.
Wait, does that mean that you started the workout?
No. I didn't get a chance to even.
Gotcha.
I didn't even get a chance to do it.
Why didn't you do it as a warm up to the half marathon?
That's a really good point. I really messed up there.
You could have gotten some good blood flow going, so you wouldn't injure yourself jogging.
And so I find myself this week. I will be in the gym this week, and I will do 16.5. I want to finish it. I want to know how I would do.
Okay, that's good.
That sounds like a lot of excuses for you not paying me my money right now. I'm hearing a lot of talk. I'm not hearing a lot of.
If you go in and do the workout this week, then you'll only owe us each $45.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's a fair.
That's fair.
I don't know how that works. We did
fair.
not shake on that beforehand. So I didn't hold up my end of the bargain, guys. I apologize.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
It's
We did so well.
Going to be real hard to do that workout with broken thumbs. Going to be real hard to grab that bar. It's really going to affect that open performance.
Yeah.
Now, the no thumb grip is better for thrusters. I think you get into a better position.
That's I honestly didn't think that I was going to be the one to fuck this up. I'll be honest with you. I mean, I was sold that you weren't going to have a drink, but God, I was so sure you're going to change programs near the end there.
Yeah.
I thought you were so ready to break.
He was. Trust me. I think that if
emailing him various programs programs he can be following instead.
Exactly.
It's like the strongman's coming up. I mean,
here's the problem, which sucked about the program that I picked. I picked a 3-day-a-week full body, which just means that you can choose anywhere between 3 and 6 days a week, except that it's roughly the same amount of work. So it's fucking long workouts for those 3 workouts there. So I picked 4 days a week for the next one. I can swing 4 days a week. All the workouts are a bit shorter.
Look who wants to spend more time in the gym. Look at this guy.
There you go.
Affecting life changes left and right.
That's right.
It takes towards the end of it. It's like 2.5 hours in the gym with stretching and the warm up and all that.
Brutal.
And that's fucking
just cut those out. No need to warm up or stretch.
Yeah. I did skip stretching last time. Yeah. I was just like, I need to get the fuck out of here,
dude. I feel you. So, yeah, I ran a half marathon yesterday. So that was cool. And that is a fucking terrible mistake. Like, you know, I don't know if I ever really need to do any sort of long distance thing ever again in my entire life.
So what was your time on the thing?
1:57:50.
Nice.
So
do the math.
I ran a 9-minute mile the entire time.
Shit, that's not bad.
Cool.
And so I realized that I was definitely over doing any sort of like long endurance thing, like outside of a 10K probably. And then I also remembered that I signed up for the Austin Half Ironman, which ends with the half marathon and begins with just over a mile swim and a 60-mile bike. So it's going to be a really fucked up day when I do that one.
60-mile bike.
Yeah. So
Why are you doing all these things, man?
Wait,
yeah.
Why a half Ironman? Wouldn't a half Ironman just be a regular man? Just a regular triathlon?
It's a copper man.
It's a copper man.
Yeah, what is a triathlon length?
The Olympic it is.
Yeah.
It's just over. I think it's double an Olympic tri. No. It's just over an Olympic. I don't know what the fuck the difference is. I don't know.
Okay, so
I wouldn't be able to tell you.
None of us know enough about triathlon to know.
I know that generally sprint triathlons are like 800-meter swim ish, and they end with like a 10K. Or those that might be the Olympic. I honestly have no idea. Katie wants to get into these like long endurance stuff. Like she wants to get into half Ironman stuff. And I was like, you know what? I know for a fact that I'm gonna end up in the pool with you. I'm gonna end up running with you. I'm gonna end up on the bike with you, like training. So I might as well do the event, and that this will be an interesting sort of like break away from doing a ton of like CrossFit in the off. Like the.
Are you gonna get those little clippy shoes?
I have them.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh
man. Yeah. So
that's
so there's a whole process for me to
like chain your bike up outside of Trader Joe's and go clopping inside.
No, that's pretty douchey. I'm gonna try and avoid doing that. But what I do have to do is kind of get good at swimming and biking.
Yeah, it would help.
Yeah, that would help. So yeah, I mean that's after the Open. We don't have to worry about that. For now, I am gonna be. I'm starting the next version of my vlog.
Yeah.
Season 2, I guess, if you will.
Armen.
It's Armen.
Triathlon's a bear.
No. That's season 3.
Yeah.
Season 2 is Armen makes regionals, but not really.
Armen makes a valiant effort.
Which I think will actually be a lot of fun, a very valiant effort, and until I
Armen
quit
gives
in the last
the old
workout.
College try.
Until I quit in the middle of the last workout, which should be a lot of fun because I'm going to be traveling each weekend. So each weekend I'll be in a different place with a different CrossFit Games athlete doing the Open. So that should be a lot of fun.
Inspiration.
That should be a lot of fun, just watching them crush workouts and then be like, oh, God, what the fuck is a totem bar? So it should be
good. So how did you do on the how was the half marathon? We kind of got away from it, but how was the experience of it?
It was okay. I mean, so my background before I started CrossFitting was in endurance world. Like I ran in high school because it was just something to do after school. So I've done 4 marathons before.
Oh, really?
And I've run a few halves since then. Like I did a couple halves with my mom. In 2014, we went to Antarctica.
How much did you weigh when you ran these marathons?
In high school, I was like 175 pounds.
Okay.
Yeah. Since then, I mean, being like 195, 200 and running half marathons is like a different world. It's a whole different world. And
tell me about it.
That might be one of the reasons why I kind of don't ever want to do these long things again. Like, being this big, efficiency is a really big part of it, so you don't like just absolutely wreck yourself. And that was actually one of the things, like I started the run and I didn't really have a plan. I just kind of had like an idea, like, all right, well, here's the marathon pacing group. Like they're going for the 4-hour marathon, which for me that would be a 2-hour half marathon. Yeah. I'll fucking follow them for as long as I want. That should be fun. And so I ran with them for the first like 3 miles or so, and I was like, this feels pretty good. So then I ran up and I caught up with like the 3:55 pace for the marathon, and so I ran with them for another few miles, and I was like, okay, this is starting to get a little tiring. There's some hills coming up, it's really humid, like I haven't run more than 5 or 6 miles in the past like 2 years. I was like, oh well, let's do this will be interesting. So I kind of like started slowing down a little bit, and then I remembered, like, if I start walking, everything's gonna get worse. Like my legs will start hurting, my back will start hurting. So I was like, you know what, fuck it, just don't walk. Like the goal now is to finish this thing without walking. And so that was like my goal. Like after about halfway through the half marathon, I thought to myself, make it through without stopping.
Katie just left you behind at this point.
Yeah, she's just like, she was like, no, she did really well. She ran with a friend of ours, Carmen, and then my mom was in there as well. And so yeah, my goal was just finish it without stopping, and like I don't know what other people think about. I don't understand what people think about when they're running. Like I had music, and then the headphones died. Like the battery in the headphones died like 45 minutes into this thing. So I was like, "Fuck these!" And I just like put them off and put them in my pocket. Like this sucks. Like I have no fucking music now.
Yeah. I would have quit at that point.
So the rest of the run, I was basically just thinking about my running form. So for like an hour and 15 minutes, I was coaching my own running form.
That's a great way to make time really slow.
Really slow. Really slow. I mean, there was not a single. There was no like elongation of time. If you want to talk, like there's crazy time dilation going on.
The amazing difference I love between like rowing when there's something to watch, or you have music or a podcast in, or you're watching TV, and then rowing without is amazing. Like if I put on TV, it's like I pull twice and I look down. Oh my God, 350 meters in 2 strokes. Fantastic. And then if I row without anything and just thinking, then it's like it takes about an hour and a half, and I look, and then all of a sudden I realize I've only gone 20 meters. It's just that, that's at least subjectively, that's how it feels.
I must say doing a long row is psychologically the worst there, because even if you're like running on a treadmill, you can zone out and just let the thing take you. But if you're rowing, if you have a little bit of your psychologically slacking off in terms of pulling hard on the fucking thing,
suddenly
your pace
like,
just tanks.
You're like you're rowing a 4-minute 500. Yeah.
You have to will each and every pull to be a certain level of hard in order to do
It's funny you
thing.
should mention that, because the last like sort of real endurance thing that I did was sometime last year. I rowed a 25K. And I did so while watching Interstellar.
Oh, there you
so
go.
Talk about time dilation. I mean, it was fantastic.
That you got off, and then one of your crew members had aged 25 years, but still pretty much looked the same. Yeah. It was kind of okay with it.
It was just, I got off, and Katie had a beard all of a sudden. I was like, what the hell happened? Wow, that was really crazy. So that is both my endurance experience last year. I feel fine. I'll be in the gym this evening. We'll see how it goes. I'm supposed to deadlift today. You know, Mondays are for butt stuff, so we'll deadlift, and hopefully I'll feel okay. I'm not super sore. I was very fucking tired. And I still feel a little overheated. Maybe it's just this room. Yeah. But you guys ran?
No, we ran a half. Cliff and I ran a half one time.
Okay.
Yeah. Slowly. Not an official half marathon, but we just ran 13.1 miles with my father.
That's fine.
Yeah.
It's a good way of doing
it. That was Skinny Kyle back then.
Nice.
Skinny Kyle with
running Cliff
with his skinny little neck. What did I wear? Vibram 5-finger shoes.
Of course you did.
God,
I saw a couple people wearing those, and I was like, man, losers.
I loved those shoes, man. They were great for running. I didn't. They did not really work for CrossFit.
They're really not good for anything.
They were fun for running. It's like you're running, but with finger shoes on.
Yeah, it's like you're running, but you can break your foot at any time.
Yeah, that didn't happen.
It's like you're running, but every step you take is slowly fracturing.
But you're getting
metatarsals.
you're getting all that feedback from the ground.
Right. Because that's really what we've been lacking our entire lives is feedback from the ground.
Yes.
I've always wanted to know, what's the ground thinking as I'm pounding it.
And you know how you find out?
You wear
toe
shoes. Yes. So speaking of the Open, we are.
Silly question. When does that start?
We are 3 days away from the Open. So it starts on Thursday at 5 p.m. For us, it would be 7 p.m.
Should I register?
I mean, are you going to do any of the workouts? You can scale them.
I'm going to do all the workouts, I think.
I'll do all the workouts, but I won't register because I'm not going to fucking film myself.
I'm not going to film myself.
It doesn't matter. That's the thing, right? Yeah. It doesn't matter. Yeah. In the long term, it doesn't. Participating in the Open does not actually require you to give $20 to CrossFit HQ. You pay the $20.
Video. Why I'm not in the Open? So I can spend $20 on this hamburger and French fries and a Coke.
There you go. The Coca-Cola is like spitting in the eye of CrossFit.
I know, it's really twisting the knife.
They're like, I'm going to buy $20 worth of Coca-Cola instead of supporting the CrossFit Games Open. So the Open starts this weekend. Starts this week on Thursday with 17.1, and we're gonna see Sam Briggs up against Kristen Holte.
Nice.
And we're gonna see Fikowski up against Patrick Bellner.
And no better use of our time than to uselessly speculate about what the workout is going to be.
Right, and that's exactly what we're about to do. So this episode will come out before the Open announcement.
I'm confident if we talk at each other long enough, we're really going to sort this out.
Yes, and because of that, we're only going to talk about this for a couple minutes because we have to get to the reviews and we all have other things to do at some point today.
So, question: will the dumbbells be utilized in workout number 1?
I do not think so.
Me neither.
I do think so, just following the pattern of last year where an uncommon movement, for the Open anyway, a new movement was utilized right off the bat and voluminously with the overhead walking lunges.
Good point.
So I'm thinking that there'll be something that has not been featured in any Open yet this first workout. Either that or it'll be a repeat of a previous workout. Those are the two options. So I'm hedging my bets. Could be both of the full range of possibilities.
Yeah,
I'm making no prediction. Basically.
No, of course. Yeah, what you're doing is you're hedging your bets by saying every possibility. You're like, here's the thing: it could be a brand new workout, but on the other hand, it could be something we've seen before. And on the other hand,
it could be neither.
It could be neither of those things.
What I think is it could be something on this end of the continuum, or something on the other end, or possibly something in the middle.
I give the first one a 33% probability. I give the second one a 33% probability.
Okay.
And what the last possibility? I don't know. 33.
Okay. And then 1% for like a meteor coming through the ceiling and just destroying whatever gym they're in to announce it. Okay, fair enough. I have no idea what to expect. Last year they announced that workout that had the overhead walking lunges, and I was like, oh, what the fuck is this? That sucks for every gym that doesn't have 25 feet of open space. And then from that point on, I just kind of just stopped really thinking about it.
I don't know. My hope is that every workout at least is one that everyone can start. That's one of the things I liked about the old Open organization, like with the escalating weights or increasing weights, increasing rep schemes, was that they were all designed so that even if you were an old man, you could kind of start and get a few reps in, and then eventually
it's no longer the case.
The first year when they stared with like muscle up, you had to start with muscle ups. I was like, come on.
Yeah, that was last year.
I checked out of that Open at that
2015 or something. Yeah,
checked out of that Open at that workout because I was just like, you know what, fuck it. I'm not gonna, and then didn't do anything else.
Yeah, who knows what they're gonna do. I know that I shouldn't care. I know that I will watch the Open announcements and still get excited because it's a curiosity thing, and it's like, what am I going to be putting myself through? Yeah. Also, I like watching like the high end athletes do these like crazy workouts and get scores that are superhuman. Those things are interesting to me. You think Dave Castro is going to wear Gucci this year? Like, is he going to wear a full leather outfit, run out of breath while demonstrating?
He's announcing from the Louvre or something weird, isn't he?
The Reebok CrossFit Louvre.
Reebok CrossFit
which
Louvre.
I don't think is in the actual museum.
It is. It is right in front of the Mona Lisa painting. Didn't they do a thing? Was it last year where like they put some like normal people next to?
Yeah, last year in 16.1 they had like a normal person competing with like China Cho and Emily Abbott.
It was just if I want the world to see me working out, I want them to see me working out between. I actually like that idea. I like the. I don't know if I liked it in exactly that way, but I like the idea of putting someone normal next to these super elite people just to give you some perspective on just
they should do that at the games.
They're outpacing it. Yeah. To demonstrate.
They don't need to do that at
but just one
Open.
guy.
Just one one fucking guy.
His name is Dennis, and it's all about laughing at him. He just has to do every workout.
Just like the announcers are like, oh, and Fikowski finishes first, and look at fucking Dennis. He still can't even do the double unders. What a little bitch.
Oh my god, his pants fell down. Look at him. I can see his butt. Oh god, he must be embarrassed.
I was hoping way back when that someone would take Glassman up on the offer. Like way back when the CrossFit Games was fairly new. He said, I leave, a couple spots open for whoever wants to claim outside of CrossFit they're the fittest on earth.
Yeah.
No one ever really took him up on that. I was disappointed because it's too late at this point.
It's way too late at this point.
Everyone just will acknowledge, Jillian Michaels isn't going to say that, hey, I'm really the fittest person on earth there. Yeah, no, it's
not even close.
She doesn't have to because, her actions speak louder than words.
Right. Her terrible kettlebell swings speak louder than words. So yeah, we have the Open coming up, and it looks like you guys are all going to do the workouts as well, which is cool.
Workouts, yeah.
And
I'll start them.
That's fair enough. That's fine. You don't have to finish them. And I will be participating. I have my goal. I'm gonna try and I originally said top 10%, but that is probably going to be like too doable. So 7% was what we settled on originally. So top 7% of the Open. We'll see how that goes.
Or you have to pass $1,000 each.
I don't think that was part of it.
I'm pretty sure that was it.
No, I'm pretty sure that was it.
Check the recording.
I'm going to not check the recording. I'm going to just say that was not it.
I'm hearing a lot of talking. I'm not hearing a lot of you paying me my money.
I'm quite certain, Daniel. That if we check the recording, it will have me saying and Armen agreeing to $1,000.
Yeah, it's funny you should say that, but you realize
he also agreed to give me $1,000.
Yeah. I'm the one who edits these things, you motherfuckers. You're talking to Cliff. If you want someone to edit in fake words, I'm the one you should be asking.
And then there was that part where those beautiful women came in and said Kyle was great at sex. Remember that part? How great he is at sex? Check the recording.
That's not funny because that actually happened.
It did happen.
That was actually true.
That was the lost episode 1.
Yeah, this lost episode 1.
It was just all beautiful women talking about how great Kyle is at sex.
At the sex.
At sex.
Daniel, let's bring up our reviews.
Reviews.
Hey, yeah,
let's do that. I think we've got some new ones, including last I checked, we had an updated review.
Oh, we do.
And
we really do.
I just wanted to make sure that we touched on the updated review.
Oh, I'm excited.
No idea.
Very important.
Wait a minute, you didn't tell me you could update these things.
Yes, yes, you can. So let's go ahead and.
I believe we'll be starting here.
Is that is that the newest? That's the newest one.
Wait a minute.
Could you refresh it? I'm not 100%. Is this all of them? Is this what we're looking at here?
Yeah. That's what we're looking at here.
All right, then here we go. We'll keep this up.
I'm starting to read the updates.
Okay, just someone read it out loud.
We're starting with Teasdale's Belly Juice. Says 5 stars, no Eddie, amazing nonsense, and no Eddie, and he's referring to Eddie Ift of the Wadcast podcast.
Yep.
Thank you, Teasdale's Belly Juice.
Teasdale's Belly Juice.
That reference, by the way, is to a story that Ronnie Teasdale told us where he tried his own jizz.
What?
He was pleasuring himself. And exactly, yeah. He got it on his belly, and he was like, you know what? Now's a good time to do this. And so, thank you, Teasdale's Belly Juice. My face is hurting.
Did it reduce his inflammation?
I mean, I don't know what it did for him, but he qualified for regionals last year without really CrossFitting. So maybe that's the secret, guys.
That's the secret, guys. So that's what that book, The Secret, was about. It was about shimmying your butt up into the corner of the room so that you can come on your own face.
Yes.
God, there has to be a video of that somewhere. I've never searched for it, but there has to exist.
That's fucking disgusting. That's a gross
Don't act
image.
like you haven't tried it.
That's a weird image that you just... All right. Next one is 5-star...
Just scooting the hairy butt cheeks up the wall, up the drywall. Scooting them up, scooting them up, scooting them up.
Just people come and visit. They're like, hey, you know, your that corner is really dirty. Like, you should wipe the scuffs. You know, the magic eraser, Mr. Clean Magic Eraser really takes care of those scuffs. It's like, no, it happens too often.
This episode of Scale is Needed brought to you by the Mr. Clean Magic Eraser.
Yes.
There you go.
Yes, it can't erase your shame.
There are some things that no amount of Mr. Clean can erase.
Let's see. Next review from. Oh, by the way, thank you, Teasdale's Belly Juice. From Alex Lieberman, 5 stars, and he says 5-star review. I'm assuming that was just like a typo meant to say 5 stars review. Really appreciate that. Somehow this became my favorite podcast, with me now actively looking forward to a new episode each week. And this week you get 2. Congratulations, Alex Lieberman. And I listen to a lot of podcasts. Keep up the good work, Armen and Co. Thank you guys. And Co is Kyle and Cliff.
Yeah.
I'm going to imagine that includes
Daniel
me as well. Yeah.
Occasionally.
He's the C, ironically, and I'm the O.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. Okay, so thank you, Alex Lieberman. Let's take a look at this updated review here. So if you guys don't remember, we had a poor review for the show, one of our only poor reviews for the show, in which someone who calls themselves Signed Sealed was upset about us making fun of someone's clothing. Was that what we were doing? We were making fun of someone wearing normal clothes in the gym.
I think that part of the substance of the review was that this podcast had no soul.
Has no soul.
And then used as an example the fact that we made fun of average gym goers for how they dressed.
Yeah,
which
so,
of course just made us up that.
So I'm gonna read the update, and here's we go. From Signed Sealed, still at 2 stars. I don't know if it was at 2 stars before, or maybe 3 stars before, whatever. Updated. Update. I heard my review was read on air. What was the response? Grade school bullying. They looked up my other reviews and mocked them. They defended their banal discussion. By the way, you mean banal. Banal. Banal?
There's no E in the word
banal. Yeah, it's spelled B-A-N-A-L. You listen to NPR, for fuck's sake. You should know how to spell that word. It's almost like they announced dumbbells in an open workout and then had to defend it by doubling down. See, I think what they're trying to refer to there is this. Oh God, it's what they're trying to refer to there is this idea that HQ announced the dumbbells and then people called them out on them and then they like doubled down on it.
Basically, it's an attempt to call us hypocrites by trying to draw a flimsy parallel between the notion of
as flimsy as their spelling skills.
That is a super bad analogy. So I'm going to make another bad analogy. You, Signed and Sealed, are very much like Hitler. That review that's totally Hitler-like. Everything I see in that review.
It's actually a more apt comparison than the one drawn by Signed and Sealed. Anyway, continue.
That's it. I mean, the rest of it is the old review. It's the Armen acts like he's asleep on the Wadcast podcast, but that one actually has a soul. And then I listen to them mock random people at a gym based on their clothes.
So here's a better question: why the fuck are you still listening?
Right. That's a really good question. You listened in to like the next episode or 2 episodes later when we read your stupid review and made fun of your other stupid reviews.
Yeah, he's one of those people who just gets off on the abuse, clearly.
And you know what? He'll keep getting it.
Yeah,
he'll keep getting it.
Thank you for the download. I mean, one of 8 that we had last month.
Yes,
I really appreciate you downloading the episodes to listen to it again.
We're collecting a bit of a rogues gallery here.
Yes, I know.
Yeah. We got Signed Sealed. We've got Trap Bar Deadlift guy. We've got Street Clothes guy.
It has to be the same guy.
Yeah. See, Trap Bar Deadlift guy someone tried to create the mock Trap Bar Deadlift guy account and review us, but this is the real Trap Bar Deadlift guy. I mean, poor form.
By the way, we didn't talk about it, but Trap Bar, we saw a return of Trap Bar Deadlift guy.
I missed out on most of it, so fill me in.
There really wasn't much to it, though. I must say, to his credit, he set up his Trap Bar deadlifts not on the platform.
He's learning his lesson.
He's learning his lesson. And I was on the platform, someone else was on the other platform, he set it up, and he performed his workout with it somewhere else. So
here's the key thing. Did he set up his trap bar while one of the platforms was open?
No.
Okay. I'm not sure how much credit to give him there.
I don't know, but he had previously, so it is an improvement, he had previously, while both platforms were occupied, came over to me while I was lifting on the platform and asked to set up the trap bar on my platform while I was working on it. So that is a thing that happened.
Dude, this guy is just painful.
It is real bad.
Wow.
So he had done that previously.
Did he set up the trap bar and just leave it in the middle of the room? I'm using that. I'm using that.
He set it up. Everything else was unchanged. So he still set it up, put the 2 25-pound bumper plates on it, did it in the middle of the floor, and then walked away, and I never saw him again for the duration of the time that I was in the gym.
Damn, man.
Yep.
Maybe he's not learning his lesson.
Maybe not.
He's not learning his lasagna.
Yeah,
so that's good. Maybe we'll have hopefully we'll have some more updates on the Trap Bar Deadlift guy saga.
Hopefully.
Well,
and then maybe he'll update his review yet again.
And you know what? Maybe Trap Bar Deadlift guy is gonna walk into the gym wearing street clothes one day, and then we'll have like the ultimate hate party on him. That'd be perfect. Anyway, folks, thank you so much for listening to this episode. The Open starts this week, so I don't know, maybe like start CrossFitting or something. You know, this is a good time.
More on that later.
Man, even if you're fat, you should still do the Open workouts.
You know?
That's a good point.
For all those fat people out there, I don't know any of them, or I can't really relate to them at all personally, but I believe that there are fat people out there who should do the
there are
Open
plenty
workouts.
of people there. So you guys started this phrase, the Husky CrossFitters crew, and people have been tweeting me asking if they can join the Husky CrossFitters crew.
Oh, nice.
And I asked them simply, are you husky?
Yes.
Do you chase fitness? Do you pursue sweat in the gym? And
hashtag HCC.
HCC. I thought I said HTC, and I was like, damn. All right.
Sure, why not?
So hashtag Husky CrossFit crew.
Yeah.
Although I don't think we're allowed to use CrossFit, so let's just do it with HCC.
HCC. Hashtag HCC. Hashtag DTF.
Yes. HCC will now be our Tinder, our Tinder app, Tinder style app for Husky CrossFitters.
So if you are great at butterfly pull-ups, but while you do it, your moobs flap around all wild and willy-like, then you can join.
If you like butterfly pull-ups and butt stuff,
if you like butterfly pull-ups and butter, then join the Husky CrossFitters crew.
If you can't decide whether you want to snatch that barbell or snatch a cupcake,
if you like thrusters and nut clusters, the Thirsty CrossFitters crew. If you like cleans and beans, then join the Husky CrossFitters crew.
Oh yeah.
If you like deadlifts and chocolate.
That's petering out there.
That's good. I mean, we took it as far as it could go, and
I
then
decided
ran it into
to
the ground further.
Some people just want to watch the world burn. I blew that shit up.
Well done.
That's right.
Well done. It's a comedic tool.
That's right.
It's called not being funny.
Yes.
So, gentlemen, your social media handles.
I am Mr. Kyle Bogart on Instagram and Twitter.
I'm at Hetero Bear on Twitter.
And I am at Armen Hoists. Thank you so much, folks, for listening to this episode. Good luck in the Open. By the time you hear from us again, 17.1 will have been announced. And the next time you hear from us, we will have our reactions to that. Thanks so much, folks. Later.
Later.